Seattle squad is going to be really dangerous.
Make some noise for the Seattle Surge!
Bob and I were sitting there. It was probably like 2 days into building rosters that we're finally looking there, and like we had teams with Preston, we had teams with GUNLESS, like we had like honestly like 3 teams with Dan, and I was like, we were just kind of sitting there looking at the sheet, and I was like, wait a second, we might have something really special here. And I like pulled Pierce's name over, Bob would insert like Preston's name, and then finally we were like, okay, we need like a leader. We need someone who's gonna like sit down, help communicate with the team, like aside from like me or Pierce or anyone else gonna be vocal, because this team is gonna be extremely vocal. And then immediately came into my mind, I was like, the best option is Dan, 100%. Like, not close, the best option is Looney. He's one of the people that I would consider one of the few leaders in Call of Duty, like genuinely. Hardpoint Juggernaut. I cannot wait to hear that title all year, because let me tell you, this team top to bottom is going to be disgusting at Hardpoint. If this game is anything like other 4v4 CODs we've had, this team is going to be disgusting at Hardpoint. You know, I look at a lot of the criticisms online, and I understand a great deal of them, because I mean, I'm not clueless. I know Pierce. I've known Pierce for a few years now. That guy's talent level is just so absurd to me. I think people forget very easily for some reason just how talented Pierce is. I feel like people really don't know how to talk to Pierce. I think a lot of the negativity that comes from Pierce's name is him as being like a toxic teammate, or being like a scumbag to his team, and that I just don't think is the case at all, just from getting to know Pierce over the years. So that idea really never crossed my mind. I feel like this team is a team that Pierce is gonna be very comfortable on, and that comfortability is gonna lead him to be a great teammate too. I actually do think it's big being a Seattle native for Preston. Preston's lived in a lot of places in his life, but I know where he has always referred to his home is Seattle. And the first time I talked to him about it, he was excited. It was one of the first things he brought up. He said, like, it's the hometown, got to represent. Big Seahawks fan he is. So yeah, I do think it means a lot to him. And the city-based model has definitely grown overall. I think it's grown in a lot of people, and a lot of people are representing their town. We have a lot of great supporters from like the Seattle area, like Washington area, that tweet me all the time, and I see that, and they're just so passionate because it's from Seattle, from their area. And I hope now that we have someone on the team from there, we can pour that love over, and people can see it from a team perspective too. He knows what's going on. He knows the game. He learns quickly. You could tell. And just from a vocal perspective, I mean, Pierce has worked with him in the past. Sam has played with him in the past. I talk to them about him often. Just he knows how to win. He's a player that genuinely knows how to win, and he just brings so much outside of the game to the team. And I know that if he can just produce a little bit in game, we're gonna be just fine. So a lot of the Looney slander to me is funny, because I feel like I've been in that boat before, where like I look at a player and I say they're not, maybe they're not the right fit for the team, but putting as much bias aside as possible, I do think he is the perfect fit. I've sort of moved past the idea of looking at specific titles for someone like Sam. I realize that it actually doesn't matter what game it is. He's just going to be disgusting at it, so irrelevant when it comes to the title. Just from playing the game a little bit, it feels really good. Treyarch has addressed some things that they already like have fixed, or like want to fix about it, that were like initial concerns with maybe movement-based things. So just overall like feel of the game, which is really all you can gauge in an alpha, it feels really good. It feels fun. Even moving around the map and just getting kills is rewarding. We'll have to see coming up, when the beta comes around, when the game initially launches, what the actual like play style of the game is, how the feel of it is overall. But just in general, it being a 4v4 title is going to be super important for this team. So one thing I'm super excited about this team is I do not care what the meta is. And that's something last year that I was like super worried about, was like how the meta was going to shift, because the roles were all pretty similar. This team, it's amazing. I know at any given point, these guys can use whatever gun. I know Pierce is an extremely talented flex. He's shown that in the past. Preston, people don't even understand that Preston, at his core, Preston is a flex player. In Black Ops 3, I was watching him play, and he was popping off with an AR all the time, and he turned it around and became an entry sub that was walking the hills, getting 2 pieces, winning championships. Like, such a versatile player. And even Dan, I could see him just like, if there's like a flex gun and, you know, Pierce and Preston for some reason like using a sub, I could even see him playing like a, you know, some weird like flex role. This team is so versatile. You know, even Sam last year wanted to use a sub, didn't quite work on that one. But the team just has so much versatility, and like I said before, I'm really excited about this team not having a role issue, inherently, at least that I can see. This right here, this team means a lot to everyone on it. This team is super important to everyone. Last year, everyone on this team went through some really bad times, and like this was probably one of the worst years outside world in COD that a lot of these guys played through. And this team is all about reminding people that Call of Duty at its core will always have these names around it, and these names are going to be here for a while despite age. And this roster, it embodies the revenge tour from top to bottom, and everyone is just excited to just prove so many people wrong, because we didn't get to do it last year, and that hurt a lot.